have a great evening, 6 wonderful speakers. Let's get right to it. The first speaker, Josh Maleeff. Maleeff, not Maleeff, Maleeff. He is a mobile training architect. In that role, he helps companies to communicate with their employees using the mobile devices that they already carry. Prior to founding Mobile Info Pros, he spent over 15 years in technical sales and training, recently completing his MS in instruction at Drexel University. Let's hear it for Josh.
Thank you all. Now we get to see if I get to test the technology out here.
Yeah, wait, it's not.
That's the arm, the blue-greenish one, that one.
Okay, so it's sorry, different order.
Just one being the guinea pig, you know? Digital auto advancement, right? That. Or how are we doing? Is it? I guess I'll figure it out. All right, so I'm here for Mobile Info Pros, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we do, as well as talk to you a little bit about enterprise mobile learning and some of the trends. My company works with 2 platforms. One is text messaging and the other is mobile web. And you see they work together. You can send out text messages to people that'll prompt them to go to a mobile website and be able to send an alert along with the details that follow along with it. So you heard in the intro, I'm a mobile training architect. What does that mean? No, I'm not actually designing phones and that kind of stuff. But what I'm actually doing is working with customers and companies to find solutions that they can use to communicate with their employees. And so when you look at how we got to where we are and you go through things over the last couple of years or in the past, we started off at learning. It was in its infancy, and so we had small screens. There were a lot of different platforms out there, and we had to figure out, with limited bandwidth, how you communicate with people. And so that led to some early misconceptions. One was that M-learning was going to take over for all e-learning, that apps would make people use stuff, and that apps would be better than mobile websites. Also, that text messaging really wouldn't be important to communicating with people and engaging them in training platforms. So what changed in the last 5 years? Well, a lot more devices out there being used a lot more. Average person's looking at their smartphone over 150 times a day. So think about all the times you check your time, email, tweets, whatever you're doing, you're on your phone a lot. And that now extends to training and communication. And there's some interesting stats of the number of people who are buying phones over laptops for use in their work. So it's extending throughout all sizes of businesses as well. The phone is becoming the predominant screen in a lot of cases. So what have we learned now that this brings us to? And a couple of things up here. One, if it's easy, people will be more willing to do training. Also, that the delivery needs to work on any phone, Android, iPhone, whatever. And that people also need prompting to get to do that training. And that the text messaging is a real effective way to do that. Which leads us into the mobile web versus the apps. With designing mobile websites, it's going to work on any phone, a tablet, and even on a desktop. So we found that to be a more versatile platform than having to design specific apps based on each platform. And within what we can do using Train by Cell, which is the platform that we support, you can do things like embed videos, files, images, texts and quizzes, and social media as part of it too. So it's a very robust platform. And it allows you to do snack learning, as we put it here. Everything comes in bite-sized pieces. This isn't a full e-learning that you're going to sit in front of a computer and do. It's a way to push out little pieces of information and updates to people. And we use that to support the enterprise learning model, the 70-20-10. Because if you're on the job and you need to do on-the-job learning, you have this ability through the mobile websites to get to the information you need to do your job. And you can learn it as you need it. You can access the information as it becomes relevant. And so when you look at what the uses are, we've got stuff like sending out company news, links to training material, product and price changes, and also alerts. And that texts are read a lot more than emails. The majority of texts get read, and they get read quickly. So on that note, if you guys have your smartphones with you, I'm going to give you an opportunity to follow along with this case study and see this actual site along the line. You want to send the message GET SALES to 56512. It'll be in the top right of the next slide too if you miss it here. And the case study I'm going to talk about is for a retail sales force. This is actually a company I was working with previously that had a variety of AT&T stores across the area. And we were finding an issue in getting salespeople to stay current on their information that they weren't checking their emails, and so they didn't know what was going on. So we went to creative ways to engage them. And so in this case in particular, you have a situation where the new Samsung phone was coming out. So we sent them a text and said, go learn about the new phone. They pulled up a page for that. Then a couple of days later, we sent them another text and said, now we need you to take a quiz to prove that you actually read it. And we had them do that. And so another use, and what you see in the picture here, is to keep up on industry news, we set up an RSS feed to a couple of different industry sites so that they could follow the news, and they could also use the same thing to find different phone numbers, price lists, policies and procedures, that kind of thing. Outside of that specific case, the other thing that I'm seeing out there now is some industrial stuff. You come up to a piece of equipment, and how do I use this? Well, you scan the barcode, and it comes up on your phone to an embedded video of what exactly to do with that piece of equipment, and if it's broken, how to fix it, that kind of thing. So in summary, this is the kind of stuff that we found, is that it allows more training and learning, increased communication, you can test your people. Employees generally like this, and it's easy to get started, and it's an inexpensive solution. I know 5 minutes goes very quickly. If you want to see more on this, and to get these slides, if you send a text to 56512 that says get slides, you will get to see a sample of my mobile website, and these slides will be on there to download and take a peek at as well. The graphic says to text get demo, that'll just take you directly to the demo site. So either one of those works, and I invite you guys to take a peek and see what this can do. And thank you.